Well, hey YouTube, how you doing? Welcome to Coffee with the Masons. At least one of them. Yeah, I got coffee. Now, I am broadcasting here, shooting, not broadcasting, from the fireside. As you can see behind me, the flames trickling. I'm sitting in the floor just because, well, I sat down a while ago. I'm fat, I'm old, I ache, and it's easier just to sit here than it is to get up. So, I wanted to say a few things today, and I purposely left my wife out of the video, although she is within distance to hear. Dan, knock it off. You see, I'm over here talking to my friends. Leave me alone. Put that thing away. Really, children. Anyway, I just had a few things I wanted to get off my chest, and I figured may as well get it off my chest with you. Before I get started, I would ask that you like, share, subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine too. If you want to comment. If you don't want to comment, also fine. And if you dislike it, there's a button for that too. Sometimes I dislike myself. So I know it's a little shiny here. My bald head's cascading, lights cascading off my bald head. But it is what it is. I'm not going to hunt a hat because to do that I have to get up out of the floor, and that ain't happening. Okay, so now I know I've shared this passage of scripture before, and just because this is my channel and I like to do things that I like to do, I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to tell you what it means to me this time, though. Before I get to the Bible, I would like to say that cat's trying to adjust the camera. We live in a world that is full of judgment. I've done it. Each one of you has done it. We judge somebody based on either what they normally do or what we think they're going to do because of what they've done. And it's going to happen until the end of times. So whether we get bent out of shape about it or get caught up, hung up on it, doesn't matter. It's still going to happen. Nobody's going to stop judging other people. Nobody's going to stop having their thoughts of other people, their views of other people. We are called by God to love everyone as Jesus has loved the church. That's probably going to be something we all fall short of every day of our lives. I live in judgment. I don't care. I've judged other people. They don't care. Why don't we just get past it? Stop with the judgment. And let's live life the way it was intended to be lived, with hearts full of love. People fall, people stumble. It's going to happen every day from now until the end of time. It's not what makes a person is not that they fall. What makes a person, what makes their character, the judgment of a person should be how they react to that fall when they get back up and knock the dust off. One of the disciples one time asked Jesus how often they should forgive. And I think the number was put out there, should I forgive 7 times? I believe Jesus answered 70 times 7. That's 490 times. 490. If my math is correct. And I believe my math is correct. I used the calculator before I start talking. Anyway, if Jesus said forgive 490 times, I'm going to forgive 490 times. If anybody's ever done anything to me, if this video gets to them and I didn't say I forgive you, I'm taking this time now to say I forgive you. So, now that we're past that, let's get to the Bible. The book of Mark, chapter 10. I've read this to you before. Like I said, I know I have. It says, for this cause, verse number 7, for this cause, man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall become one flesh. So then there are no more twain, but one flesh. I'm not going to go any further. There's another powerful verse right beside that, but I want to tell you what those two verses mean to me today. You know how it feels when you get a paper cut on your finger? Probably some of the worst pain there is. There's no blood. There's no stitches. You can barely see a little mark there, but it hurts. What these verses right here mean to me is when God joined me with my wife, we became one flesh. And I experienced the real meaning of that when I was in jail this last time. My wife came to visit me, and she was having a bad day, and it was all of her bad days for the past 14 months have been 99.9% my fault. Up until that day that she came to visit me in jail, me being so selfish and hung up in my addiction, I either failed to see it, failed to feel it, or failed to realize, or, pardon my French, failed to give a damn. One of those four. And it was probably number 4. Because I know I noticed her. I know I was there with her. I was watching her. I just didn't care. I was selfish. I was doing my thing. I didn't care. Looking back 14 months later, at the end of it, we have lost so much that we should still have 401k, insurance. We did pay the mortgage ahead of time. With the 401k, we did have saved up, but we shouldn't have had to do that. If I hadn't had my head so firmly up my backside, we wouldn't have had to do that. But getting back to these two verses, they twain shall be one flesh. Now, what that means to me is when my wife came to see me that day in jail, she was in tears. And that is the absolute first time I have ever felt physical pain because someone else was hurting. And some of you might think, oh, it's just not real. You were just in jail, locked up, blah, blah. No, it was real pain. I felt it in my heart. My heart was hurting because my wife was hurting. Because the two became one flesh. So whenever she hurts, I feel it. It's almost like that movie, the Corsican Brothers. Yeah. When one brother was hurting, the other one felt the pain. It's almost like that. Because when she's hurting, I feel it. Whether it's an emotional pain, a physical pain, I know it because I feel it. So examine yourselves. Pay attention to your spouse. Realize that what God has joined together is a holy, holy union. And if the person that you're with hurts and you don't feel it, I can say with confidence that I wouldn't think that God had put that together. If you truly are with the one that God has matched you with, God put you together, you'll feel that pain because I felt it. So that's what those verses mean to me. And I'm no preacher, so I'm not going to keep preaching. I will say this. Addiction is real. Addiction is dangerous. Addiction is pure evil. It wants to kill. It wants to take. It wants to steal. It just wants to come into your life and take over like a wildfire until nothing's left. And it will do that if you let it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. It's a little wet and rainy here. I'm stuck in the house. One of the things I do when I'm stuck in the house is stare at this phone and talk, I guess. But just want to get that off my chest. Maybe if it reaches one person hears and it helps, then it was worth it. God bless you guys, and hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll do this again tomorrow.